Microsoft Excel is a very versatile application that started life as a spreadsheet. So the key to understanding working within Excel is understanding the structure and format of a spreadsheet. And in order to understand that, you need to understand how the different areas of a spreadsheet are identified, how to call them out, and so on. So this is really the foundation that you need to build from, because you'll need to understand the cell naming and how to refer to cells in formulas and so on before you can move on to some of the other things. So first, let me go up here with my cursor to the upper left hand corner. You'll see that when I put my cursor in the upper left corner, the A is highlighted. This is a column. Columns are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then the rows are numbers, and you'll see that this is highlighted. This is our name box, and you'll see that the cell is named for its intersection between the row and column. So it's the intersection of column A with row 1, hence its name is A1. Similarly, if I move down, you'll see B3, column B, row 3, so the name is B3. That's the cell name at its most basic level. You can also assign a name that would make it more meaningful if you have a whole bunch of different names, and in a spreadsheet or a program you've got multiple sheets and you have lots of different things going on, forms and graphs and all of those kinds of things that you can do in Excel. Sometimes it's really helpful to have a name. So instead of A1, let's call this home, and that's just a single cell. Now normally you would be giving a name to a group of cells. We call that a range. So here you see I have column A is highlighted and the rows 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I want to call this, I'm just going to call this my data, because we'll fill that up with numbers. Now if I put some numbers in, let's do this. This is another useful tool that we'll cover in other videos, and that's the autofill. But now I have values in both home and my data, as well as other cells below those two named ranges. Now in formulas and so on, I can call out, if I want to add together, we start all formulas with the equal sign. Instead of saying A1, I'll call this, I want to add together home plus A11 plus A16. Press enter and it gives me a value of 28. If I come up here, I'll click on that cell, I see what it evaluates to, the number 28, but up here in our formula bar you'll see that it shows me the formula that I've typed in, home plus A11 plus A16. Now in the formula bar you'll see that it changed the color to blue for home, green for A11, violet to A16, and over here it identified, it highlighted by outlining the cells that are in the formula. Now let's take this formula, I'm going to do a Control C, move down one cell, and Control V. You see what happened? Now I have a different value. The reason, again, if I look at my first formula, I have A1, A11, A1 being home, A11, A16. Now I have A1 still, A12, and A17. I've used what's called absolute referencing, cell referencing, and relative cell addressing in a single formula. Whenever you name a range or a single cell and you copy or move the formula, Excel assumes that because you've named it, that's the one you want to be referring to. But if it's just a cell reference based on the intersection name, it's going to shift it. So when you go down, I copied down one, it went from A11 to A12, from A16 to A17. That's what we mean by relative addressing. So when we shift it, now again, if I Control C, Control V, here I have a value of only 1. It evaluates to only 1 because my formula again is home, which is A1. This isn't changing, that's an absolute reference. And now it's shifted to the right a column. So instead of being column A as it was here it's A12 and A17. Now it's B12 and B17, and then when I click up in the formula bar we see that there are no values in these fields, so it just added the 1 plus 0 plus 0, which is 1. Now there is another way that you can do absolute cell references. In fact, you can, instead of doing a single cell reference as we've done by using a range name, you can actually anchor to either a column or a row in your formula. So if you don't want the row to change, for example, I'm going to double click on my column, or I mean my formula here, I'm sorry. My row is 12. The way that we identify an anchor is the $sign. So we put a $sign in front of these two rows. Now we have A12 and A17. Watch what happens. Control C, Control V. Guess what? I still have 30 again because I was anchored. I'm still referring to rows A12 and A17. Instead of shifting the formula down one, let me widen this here. So now we have formula that's been copied down one row, but it's remained the same. Now we only anchored the row, but we only moved row. We didn't move out of the same column we were in. Now let's take that same formula, Control C, move over one column, Control V. Again, we have, this time we've not moved the row. See, we're still 12 and 17. 12 and 17. We've moved the column, but we didn't anchor the column. See, we went A, Excel changed that to B. Let's go back and modify our formula. Let's anchor the column and the row. Now when I do Control C and Control V, you see what happens? I still have the same value. I've said, what I'm saying in effect is, no matter where I move my formula or copy my formula to, I still want it to refer to the same column, the cell at the same column and row location. So if I anchor a row but not a column and I move, Excel will shift the row, I'm sorry, the column but not the row, because the row is anchored. If I anchor the column but not the row, and I copy my formula over to the next column or two columns over, it will still refer to the values in that column, in this case the A column. And if I'm on the same row, it doesn't change, but if I copy over two columns and down two rows, this will still stay A, because I've anchored it. But if I went down 2 rows, this would become 14 because it would automatically shift it. So those are the ways that you can refer to cells. This is the quick and dirty version. Again, you can assign a name, and that can be a single cell, can be a range of cells. Forgot where my range is. I can also do it this way. I can click, I press the F5 key, that's go to, and then I can say, well, where is it? See, I'd forgotten exactly, and it highlights where my range is. Again, go to, if I want to go to the home range called home, okay, it shows me exactly where it is. Ranges can be, they can overlap. Here's a case very quickly here. I'll name this, call this my data 2. Now I have 2 ranges. Again, I'll do F5. I have my data. When I click on my data, it shows me that that's cells A2 through A8, and then when I F5 my data 2, now it shows me that this is A3 through C5. There is a much more comprehensive video that goes into quite a bit more detail. It shows some manipulation and some more examples. So if you don't have a pretty firm grasp on cell referencing from this video, then by all means I would encourage you to view the longer, more detailed video. Thanks for watching.